Hello everybody and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. Where's my thing? There it is. Hey, how you doing? It's me, it's Andy Decade. Andy here. Getting set up, ready for the show. Just getting the bits and the that's not the thing. The bits and the doodles all sorted. Where are my bits? There's my bit. There are my doodles. Hope everyone's doing okay out in the world. There's not a lot of news to talk about. There's really not a lot to talk about. So we're also going to be, talking about MicroMaster Transformer, the power to surprise. We're going to be talking about this 2-page catalog. So a little bit of Pretenders, a little bit of MicroMasters, and we're going to be doing that as well, just because, like I say, we're running dry on stories this week. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5. All right, we've only got 5 stories. I'll be repeating this when we actually get the ball rolling for the show, but it's worth mentioning because there ain't nothing this week, baby. We're dry. But since we are dry, I may as well get the ball rolling. Let's get this puppy on the road, shall we? Heck yes. Heck yes. Okay, music time, boys. Let's go.
Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy Decade. Andy, we are here for this dry week of news. It being the 24th of Smirch 2024. If you wondered, you probably don't. You probably know what the date is. It's probably not the same date that I'm recording this. Probably a few days after, maybe a week after, or maybe years later. You might be listening to this in the far future where we are fighting against the dystopian robots that are slowly taking over. Who knows? Only you can tell. Like I said, we have a dry week. We have a lot of in-hand images of figures. I've already talked about this. There's a tidal wave gallery. There's a magmatron gallery. It is kind of nice to see his teeth for the robot mode because there's some decent images of it. But excuse me, it's still all stuff that we've kind of already talked about. Let's have a quick look at the magmatron stuff. A very brief look. Because I haven't actually looked at the gallery myself, because I was like, what's the point? Yeah, see the birds in the bird mode, the weird shit mode. Oh, yeah, whatever the big combination dinosaur mode looks like, is meant to be called. It looks bad. I would say it looks pretty bad. Not surprising. It was a pretty bad mode to begin with for the original toy. I still don't think this looks desperately amazing, but you're not really buying it for that mode. You're getting it for the robot mode, I suppose, aren't you? And it does look good. It's nice to see in-hand images, I suppose, but again, in-hand images and behind the scenes of more figures, in-hand images of the dramatic capture series Nemesis Bridge, which is the box with the 4 voyages in. 3 voyages in. It's just like, maybe there's there's slight repaints of figures we've talked about again. Okay, what's the news then, Andy? What are we talking about this week? Well, important news such as the Transformers G1 and Earthspark ceramic mug and chocolate egg for Easter, which is at some point. I can't remember when Easter is. Have we had Easter? I can't remember. It's soon. If we hadn't had it yet, I think it's pretty soon, right? I'm almost sure. But yeah, we've got a G1 egg and we've got an Earthspark egg. Apparently, this is Happy Easter packs made by Park Avenue, which is Australia-based. Don't know whether that means you can only get these from Australia land. Maybe they'll ship them out to other countries. But yeah, it's like, hey, here's your cheap non-brand chocolate, which is usually not very good, and he's a mug to go with it. So Earthspark 1, yeah, that's that looks like what you would expect from a cheapo brand egg and mug. The mug doesn't look too bad. Optimus Prime on the front there, because who else was there going to be apart from Bumblebee, I suppose. The G1 mug, ceramic mug. Yeah, it's actually not too bad. I think it's better than the Earthspark one. The Earthspark one just has random images of Optimus Prime. The G1 seems to have some panels from the Marvel comics. Not being a Marvel comic reader myself, especially of that era of Transformers, as I've mentioned many times, I don't know if these are actually from specific issues of the comic, or if this is just someone's done some artwork, in reference to that style. You'll know. I won't. But there you go. That's you can get your delicious chocolate egg. Well, your a cheap, passable egg, I suppose. You can get that. Mr. White, hello, Mr. White. Mr. White says the G1 mug image is from the comic entitled Optimus Prime, Autobot Killer. Oh my god. What does he do in the issue? What a weird issue to use, I suppose. If he's going around murdering Autobots. I'm guessing from the information deposited by Mr. White, which I appreciate. Thank you. I don't have on my desk a chocolate egg. I just have Mr. Potato Head, who is almost chocolate egg shaped, I suppose. Just he's made out of plastic and is meant to be a potato. Usually not really very chocolatey. Mr. White also says he just shot a load of Autobots, but there's a twist. Oh no, a fiendish twist? What's a fiendish twist? You can't leave me dangling now. I need to know what the fiendish twist is. Don't worry, you can't spoil a comic that's nearly 40 years old. Yeah, the comic must be like nearly 40 years old if it isn't 40 years old. Oh god. But yeah, chocolate eggs. You can buy them. That's the thing. Here's something that made me again feel quite old and slightly confused. Hot Wheels. Not specifically Hot Wheels, but Hot Wheels are doing Hot Wheels Skate Transformers. These are the first images of Skate Transformers. Now, you might be there, if you haven't seen the story already, going, ooh, what's that about? That could be interesting. It's not. It's not. I'll tell you why. These are Transformers-themed finger skateboards. That shocked me, because I thought fingerboards died in the early 2000s when I think they were first made. Right? Apparently, fingerboards are still a thing, which is kind of surprising to me on many levels. But we have some sets here in Transformers-themed boards. We have images of Hot Wheels Skate, Megatron, Starscream, and Soundwave. No Autobot versions yet, but I think we can assume it'll be Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. And then someone else, if there's a third one. I don't know. We got the main two. Optimus and Bumblebee, I presume. Each one is going to be 29 souls. I don't know what souls are, apart from the thing that you put on the bottom of your shoes. But in terms of currency, I'm not sure what a soul is. But apparently that equates to... it's Peru. Peruvian money. Which equates to $8 US dollars plus 12 cents. So not going to be too much. There'll probably be either $7.99 American or like $8.99, I would imagine, something like that. This is the second Hasbro Mattel collaboration following the previous Uno Flip Transformers. Did we talk about the Uno Flip? I guess we didn't. I guess we'll talk about this because it's kind of tatty news. Uno Flip Transformers game available on Amazon. Do you like Uno? Do you like Transformers? Do you think these two should, I don't know, be the same game or mushed together in the same? Well, here we go. Let's read the description and find out, because I hadn't heard of this, or I missed this. It's on the 8th of March, so it's been this month. Okay, Uno Flip. Card game adds an exciting twist. Ooh, what a twist. To the classic game that includes Autobots and Decepticons from Transformers! Exclamation mark. Play and flip cards, and the deck flips from Autobot's side to Decepticon's side, which has penalties that are extra tough. Battle to get rid of cards with the Might of Optimus Prime rule, or fight to see who must draw cards with the Tyranny of Megatron rule. Only flip card, only another flip card can change things back. Make a great gift for 7 players. A great gift for players 7 years and older. If Andy could read, this would probably be more dramatic, especially Transformers fans. If you're not into Transformers, this is the product to get you into Transformers. Do you love Uno? Is your life an Uno? Do you reverse flip the bill onto your friends? Now you can get inside with Transformers being the the thing that gets you in Uno. It's real cool. It also says that there was a limited time deal, so it was 41% off. That's usually not bad. It was apparently, I don't know whether it still is, it was only $6.49 US, which is, that's fine. Let's see if let's see how much it is now. Oh, it's on Amazon.com, American World version. It's still $6.49. So if you want to get it, you can. Cheapest ships and all that jazz. Unless you're in the UK, then you have to do a bit more faff to do it. But yeah, okay. How'd the cards look? I got some Cybertron. Oh no, is that Dreamwave art? Oh no. Oh no, they're using Dreamwave art. Why? They're using Dreamwave art for these cards. No! Why? We've had years of artwork now from Transformers, and we're going for DreamWorks? Dreamwork. Not DreamWorks. Dreamwave. It's not DreamWorks at all, it's Dreamwave. I'm stupid. Leave me alone. But why are we going for Dreamwave artwork? I guess consistent images? But we've had years of IDW as well. I don't know. Oh, well. Okay. Well, there you go. I'm not going to go through all the characters because, quite frankly, they're just, who fucking cares? It's just Dreamwave artwork of your favorite Transformers. I assume it's all Dreamwave art because it all looks the same, pretty much. I see Mr. Big D's in chat. How are you doing, my partially decaying skeletal friend? Same as usual, Mr. D. Stressed out about tomorrow and the window fitting and how early I'm going to have to be up for that. We'll see how that goes. But apart from that, fine. Mainly stress of how much it would cost. Mainly. What is it with Dreamwave Art still being the go-to licensee? I guess they just have it on the cheap and don't need to pay anyone for it. I mean, Pat Lee never paid anyone for the artwork, so why would Hasbro? But sorry. Wrong one. That's the one. I need a badumch sound effect as well. I need a badumch. So is it somehow cheaper than IDW? Mr. White says, let's face it, Dreamwave art was probably really cheap to license. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think that has to be the reason. They have it on discount. They maybe don't need to give out royalties to anyone or pay anyone extra stuff, I presume. Or maybe the person that licenses stuff just really, really likes Dreamwave artwork. I don't know. There you go. So that's Uno. That's the Uno. We've also got the fingerboards. Let's have a look at the fingerboards of the three things. Now, back in my day, as a fingerboarder, which is a lie because I never boarded with my fingers, apparently now you get little shoes to put on your fingers to go onto the skateboard. I don't know if this... I assume it helps for grip. I presume. I don't know much about fingerboarding. But I will say the artwork on the bottom of the Starscream one, that's kind of nice. It's not a direct, this is just the color scheme for Starscream. They've kind of gone for a, what's the best way to describe it? Okay, the best way I would describe it is, the G2 Sunstreaker stickers from Toy Hacks. It's kind of going for that kind of effect. So the background's like a purple, and then you've got a bit of one arm, which is orange, a streak over his face, which is kind of reddy, orangey, pinky maroon. He's got a streak over his body going down to his leg, which is like light blue. It's kind of, that 90s-esque style, which I suppose is what they're going for. It looks quite nice, for a bit of artwork. Hang on, people in chat are saying, Mr. Big D says, what the fuck is a fingerboard? Right, so, for those that don't remember the early 2000s, a fingerboard is a skateboard for your finger. Let's see if we can... Oh, that's a good idea. I don't need the music on. That wasn't what I was going for. Hang on. Let me do some searching. Let's see if we can find a fingerboard advert. Fingerboard advert. Do we have some old fingerboard adverts? There we go. Fingerboard commercial. Is this? Okay. Hopefully this is not too lewd. It says warning though. Let's watch it, chat. So this is a fingerboard. A man is using his fingers to board. I don't think this is an advert, but this is a gentleman with fingerboarding skills. But I mean, yeah, Big D, this is what a fingerboard is. That's a fingerboard as he scrapes open his finger. Yeah, that's a fingerboard. It's a board for your fingers and you do little tricks on. I remember at one point you could buy like ramps for your fingerboard and like half pipes and stuff like that. As far as I can tell, fingerboarding is for the person that doesn't want to physically injure themselves by doing skateboarding. It's the least damaging kind of boarding you can do. There's snowboarding where you can hurt yourself. There's skateboarding where you can hurt yourself. There's sandboarding where you can hurt yourself or just die in a desert. There's surfing where you can drown. Fingerboarding, I don't unless you swallow the board by accident. I don't think there are many ways to die from fingerboarding. But don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that. Big D says, does this show my age? Maybe. It depends if you were in school in the 2000s, Big D, I suppose. Neon synth is the term you are looking for. Oh, for the description of the board, yes. That explains it. I was at university and buying discounted Beast Wars toys. Oh, you bastard. Mr. White says, jumping across here, fingerboards were out after any interest from me was long gone. Yeah, well, I wasn't much of it. I wasn't into the skating much. The closest I ever got to skating was Tony Hawk's, the video games, and that was about it. And SSX Tricky. That was as close as I ever got to like the extreme sports. I'll play the video games. I remember my my mate Paul bought a BMXXX when he had a whale of a time unlocking the light softcore stuff on that game. It's like, wee, lads, give us your boobs. BMXXX was terrible, by the by, if you didn't know. Mr. White says, but I just never got it. Big D says, someone find me Ryan Reynolds, but why gift? I don't know. You know, why did yo-yos become a big thing? Why did Beyblades become a big thing? You know, it's just random kid shit, isn't it? You know? Andy, none of those other forms of boarding make you look like a tit. Yeah, but you can't die from any of them. Apart from maybe embarrassment. Maybe you die from embarrassment doing fingerboarding. I don't know. Oh dear, was he the one person who bought BMXXX? Then I take it. I guess so. Yeah, because I didn't buy it, but I got to enjoy the boobs that were in the game. So, you know, that's the main thing as a youngster, I would say, that I got to do while enjoying BMXXX because I didn't want to play it. The Megatron board, again, the design on the Megatron board is quite nice. Soundwave 1 is probably the least interesting of them, but I guess design point-wise, they all look fairly good, I'd say. The Soundwave is not using Dreamwave artwork. I don't think the Megatron is, and I don't think the Starscream is either. I think they're all either unique, but I don't recognize them. So I think they're all using something unique. Yeah, if you want a fingerboard, if that's still a thing that you or people that you know want, here you go. It's what you've been asking for, I suppose. Maybe you'll get like a Cybertronian-themed half pipe or something like that. I don't know. I doubt it, but it's a thing. There you go. DX9 D18 must be scale G1 Pro grayscaled. I saw some people digibash this, but there's no point talking about the digibash because it's a digibash and it's not fair to comment on that. But we can comment on the robot mode. We talked about the vehicle mode last time, and I said it looks like Pro's vehicle mode, and now we can talk about the robot mode. The Weibo post that put this up apparently said that the robot height is going to be 16 centimeters, 0.70, which is very accurate, I suppose. The alt mode length is going to be 15 centimeters, again, for any of you that are real size queens about, oh, that's terrible. His car mode in Masterpiece scale should be 13 centimeters. He's too big. But his robot mode is too small. It should be 18 centimeters tall. There might be gentlemen and ladies out there like that. I'm not one of them. But we can have a look at the robot mode once I've checked the tweets. Not the tweets, the people sending the messages over the interweb. Yeah, the artwork is nice. I'll give them that, says Big D. Nosedive, both a Transformer name and a skateboarding move. Huh, that's true, actually. I don't think you're going to sell a product, though, with Nosedive on it, though. Because I imagine this is a very niche market. I imagine if you want to try and get the normies to buy it, you probably don't use a Nosedive who no one would know. You know? But that's a guess. Big D says, oh, this Prowl looks painful. That split hood is weird. Oh, God. I pressed a button. Let's have a look at it. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, I think I know. I think I get why they have a split in the chest. It looks like here in the one image where he's like kneeling down, that the boobs can kind of come together and give you like a butterfly joint. I assume that's why they have the cut in his boob there. Otherwise, I'm not quite sure why they do it, because it seems like a really weird choice. It has to be for articulation. It is a ballsy move, because it is not what I would say is desperately smart to put a giant crevice in the robot mode's breasticle. As we all know, it's meant to just be flat. It's meant to be like a mono piece, not a double D set, you know? It's a weird choice, but I can only assume it's there for a butterfly joint in the shoulders, which is an okay idea, but I don't think a lot of people are going to jive with it, in all honesty. It's got one of those knees where you bend the knee and he's just missing stuff, as the joint for the knee is at the back of the back of the knee. Is that how you'd say it? The joint for the hinge for the back of the knee is at the back of the knee. That still sounds like a bad sentence, but you know what I mean. So when you bend the knee, he's got this giant square missing out from where his knee would be. And usually with like a Gundam Masterpiece toy, they'd have just like greebles to fill that in. Here, obviously, that's not the case. So there's a bit of an ugly gap while bending the knee. He doesn't look happy, so that's on brand for Prowl. That's very Prowl-esque, I suppose. I don't really like the look of his hands either. The Masterpiece hand style. He's got really ugly looking thumb joint. I'm hoping him holding the gun is a little bit better in person. I assume they just haven't bent the fingers to curl around the handle of the gun completely, I presume. And the guns on the shoulders, I don't like visually how they look. The top of the gun barrels look fine. It's just the bottom of them. It goes from like a... What's the best way to... They just look like rectangles, and then you have the missile at the top. It looks a bit strange. It doesn't look very detailed and nice and smooth. I don't know. Let's check the boys. Mr. White says, Proud really wants his abs to show. I guess so, yeah. I think you're right there. In one of the poses anyway. I'll need to have a look for which one. I mean, I can see how the car mode hood in the center shifts out of the way, so the chest is slimmer. But you can forget putting an Autobot logo on the chest. Yeah, that's... I think I've seen Digibashes where they've had the... I don't know how they're going to do it, but the Autobot insignia on each side of the chest, which isn't obviously going to work for the vehicle mode, because like you say, if you have one on each side, it's going to be a big Autobot face that's been stretched over the hood. It's like I say, the best I can say, it's an interesting idea. I'm interested to see how it will look painted, but I think this was not the wisest move you could go for. But okay, I don't know. I think they'll try and get a few different colors out of it for, just a silver streak and blue streak. Smoke screen will probably happen, as they usually do. Yeah, I think this is going to be a little bit rough for them, if I'm honest. But here's a weird piece of news as well. But I thought I'd throw it in here because what else are we going to talk about this week? New packaging design for Hasbro Collector brands, including Transformers this fall. Oh my god! So here is a statement, I assume from Hasbro themselves. This year, in a continued effort to enhance the experience for fans of action figures, which aren't children, generally speaking, because children wouldn't give a shit about this, let's be honest. And our recent step to reevaluate our packaging goals, Hasbro create a new packaging structure for the 6-inch figures. Ooh. Starting in fall 2024, figures can expect to be shipped can expect the new packaging design across G.I. Joe and Transformers, along with premier collaboration brands, Star Wars and Marvel 6-inch collector figures. The new packaging structure features new improved visual of the figure and accessories, more robust packaging material to protect against damage, and improve unboxing experience. I don't know what that means, the unboxing experience for the figure and the accessories. I guess it just means like accessories that would tend to bend in the packaging will maybe be placed in a little baggie like the G.I. Joe one so that they're not going to just get ruined. Maybe. This new structure will also provide consistency across package size and design aesthetics for collectors who purchase figures across our brands. Ooh. What does this new packaging look like? We've included packaging images here of some of the new 6-inch figures, including G.I. Joe Classified, Marvel, Star Wars, no Transformers, by the way. I'm guessing they're going to save that for later. As part of the first wave of figures, we've introduced that showcase the new packaging design. This update does not include packaging for fan collectible products like the 6-inch Marvel Retro line, because obviously that needs to stay the same. Star Wars Vintage and Retro and G.I. Joe Retro, because again, they got to be unique. So there you go. So new packaging's coming, baby. We get to see the packaging, which is just a box with a very big window. I'd argue it's a little more boring, but I understand why it is preferable, because you can actually see the figure and make sure you're not getting a fucking damaged one. I don't particularly care myself, but I know there are a lot of in-box collectors, the weird people out there who are in-box collectors, etc., who really care about this stuff. For me, it's not a big issue, but I guess it's nice that we can pretend that Hasbro has been listening to the fans. Again, these are totally designed for children. Yep. These toys are totally made for children. That's why they really care about how the packaging looks. Yep. 100%. 100%. Big D says, I mean, I can see how the car mode hood... Oh, I read that already, sorry. Con exclusive G1 style barricade as well. No. Essentially, we done effed up going to a new standard instead. Yeah, I'd say so. Ooh, the new Black Series Mandalorian. Which one? Oh, Mandalorian Night Owl. I don't know who that is, but then... Oh, it's from the Mandalorian series. That's why I don't know it, thankfully. But yeah, packaging. It's getting new. It's getting updated. And if you're into it, then good. I would say reasonably the best thing about it is, or one of the best things that Hasbro should be pleased about, is no one will be able to steal you. Well, it will be harder for people to steal your figures instead of just pulling them out of the box, which, you know, without the plastic window on the front, they were able to do. I think the assumption was, because they said that they didn't want as much plastic in the packaging. I remember that. But previous to that, we had a load of packaging where they said all the plastic could be recycled anyway. So in my eyes, I assume it was just cheaper for them to do it without the plastic window. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I'd happily hang my hat up and say it was probably money. They were trying to be cheap on the packaging, or cheaper on the packaging. I might be wrong there. There you go. Yeah, new packaging. Ooh, the news this week. I told you it was good. And the last bit of news, before we talk about MicroMaster Transformers, is a possible first look at Hot Wheels Transformers G1 Bimblebee car. Woo! Fuck yeah! So we got one image of a possible Hot Wheels car. Hot Wheels car G1 Bumblebee, and it's a Volkswagen G1 Beetle. It's yellow and it's got an Autobot insignia on it. So yeah, Hot Wheels maybe making their way to Transformers maybe making their way to Hot Wheels. Cool. I'm not a Hot Wheels person. I remember many years ago hearing that the Hot Wheels market is kind of crazy. I don't know anything about it apart from I used to have just a bunch of fucked up, super damaged, not by me because I got them cheap, super damaged Hot Wheels cars from back in the day. And I was like, yeah, they're all right, you know. Yeah, they're fine. Whatever. But yeah, Transformers heading over to it. So cool. Rock and or roll, as they say. Simon Tang says, I was at Walmart and someone stole the Megatron fusion cannon. From which Megatron, out of interest, Simon? Which Megatron? Earthrise? Or another one, out of interest? Big D also says, oh, more Gasland fodder. Gasland fodder. Do you mean Hot Wheels? Or do you mean something else, Big D? I don't know. Either way, if you're a MicroMaster, a Hot Wheels collector, woo, Transformers. Simon Tang says Bumblebee movie Megatron. Oh, okay. Huh. Weird thing to randomly pinch out of a box, but oh, well, fair enough. People sometimes do be like that, though, I suppose. XL Hedge says, good, I got tired of finding headless figures or worse, head swap figures. I found an entire section of Earthrise Grimlocks and Nightshades with the head swaps. Here's a question. Do you think it was customers that did that, or do you think a shelf stacker did that because he or she was just fucking bored on their shift and they were like, I want to look like I'm working, but I don't actually want to do anything? Because I could see that happening. Just like, nah, not today. I'm gonna be in and get paid, but I'm not gonna do any work today. I'm just gonna fuck about. I could see that happening. Big D says, yeah, Gaslands uses Hot Wheels sized cars for lots and lots of guns on their armor. Oh, you mean for Warhammer stuff? Oh, and model kits and stuff. Sorry, I see what you're saying. Have you mentioned the reveal of the Megs Shockwave? Yeah, I mean, it's not a reveal. It's not a reveal. This is just in-hand images. We talked about this set, or I talked about this set when it was originally revealed, which was a long time ago. There's nothing to say about it that I haven't already said. It's just like, yeah, there you go. It's out. You can, or someone's got it in hand. So yeah, I talked about this set. So there's no point going over it. I'm afraid that's it. That's the news. Yay! So, I guess now we go over to talking about MicroMasters. MicroMasters now. I'll need to actually dingle-dongle the screen, won't I? Because not that. This one? How best to do this? I don't know. Fuck it, we'll just leave it like that. It's fine. It's fine. Is it fine? There we. Okay. I can force it. I can force it. All right. There we go. Gods, I had so many of those. He says Big D. XL Head says, I can see Studio Series Megatron cannon being stolen with all of the fan mode that figure can take. Oh, okay. Big D says mainly the petrels, not being so much the bases. Fair enough. Okay, so MicroMasters. This was the one and only MicroMasters catalog magazine we got. Well, let's start off with the MicroMaster stations. There's Hot House, Grease Pit, Airwave, and Ironworks. The problem is with the MicroMasters, there's not a lot to talk about transformation-wise, but I think it's worth talking about the bases and the colors, because they're all nice, bright, and poppy. I have all of these bases. Originally, as a child, I only had Grease Pit. And oddly enough, this is incorrect. On the catalog, it shows Grease Pit with the blue monster truck, who I can't remember the name of. Grease Pit was actually the gray repaint of this figure. He was gray. He had instead of the blue, he was gray, and instead of the orange on his stomach, it was yellow, and he had a purple face. I know that because I had it. Grease pit is a petrol station that turns into a quote unquote base. A missile that on the magazine here is red. It's not. It's yellow. A anti-air gun, which is nearly correct on the magazine. Oh, sorry, on the thing here, it's red. The joint to put it into the base is red. That's correct. But the actual guns are painted gray. Then it has this thing at the top, which I assume is a satellite. I was never quite sure as a kid what this was. I thought if it's a turret, it's pointing in the wrong way. I didn't even consider it was a radar dish. It turns into a very vertical. Oh, even the ramp's the wrong color here. The ramp for the gas station is yellow, and in the magazine it's blue. Huh. Interesting. Well, I find it interesting. Quite a few pieces to lose on this. You can lose the missile. You can lose the missile launcher rail thing. You can lose the anti-aircraft guns. You can lose the petrol station sign, which I think is the thing most people lose. You can lose the petrol station advertisement board on the top of the store. And I think you can actually lose the petrol pumps as well, and obviously the ramp. There's a lot of pieces on this specific base that can go missing, but I think it has a nice little presence. It's nice and blue. Oddly enough, I'm baffled how wrong this is compared to the real one, because I've just noticed that the shop storefront, it's using yellow plastic for the flip up part. That's not. It uses gray plastic with a sticker over the front. The other side, where it would kind of unfold to make the tower, that's correct and should be yellow, but this one's meant to be gray. And like I say, the only reason I know this is because I had it. So I can get really anal about it, because I remember. It holds a little bit of a special place. I think this is a good looking set. It may be the second best. Maybe the second best out of the four of them? Maybe? I'm not sure. Hang on. Let's have a look to see what people have said. Excelhead says, I was definitely a jerk customer. Retail employees in my wouldn't care enough to ruin kids. Fair enough. Okay. Big D says, in fairness, these mini catalogs were prone to changes in colors between the photography and the actual. Oh yeah, I know. It's just interesting to make note of them. Let's talk about what I would consider the worst one, which is Ironworks. Again, the wrong colored version of the correct MicroMaster. He should be yellow on top here. But Ironworks turns into some sort of construction factory area demolition thing. Very gray with a big crane on the top. Turns into a... What does he turn into? What does Ironworks actually turn into? I don't know. His base mode is a thing, but I don't really know what it's meant to do. It's got a little shelf where you can put the MicroMaster. Yeah, that's okay. It has a big fold-out red thing, which for the longest time as a kid when I looked at this and didn't have it originally, I assumed was like a windmill or something like that. I wasn't quite sure. And it also has a missile launch as well. I think the big red thing is meant to be a cannon. But yeah, I think the reason why I say it's the worst of the four, it's primarily gray, a little bit of yellow, and a smaller bit of red. I don't think it's a very visually appealing set. It's got some okay stickers to kind of show dirt, and it's got some nicely sculpted barrels on it as well. Otherwise, it's just kind of a flat little set where you go, it's fine. It's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. I think I've actually got the box for this one. I can't remember. Big D says, I think he's a radar base, but it does look like a windmill. As a kid, because I couldn't see the other side of the radio or the radar or whatever it's meant to be. Again, like I say, I couldn't tell that this was maybe meant to be a gun or something. I don't know. The second, maybe the middle ground area is Airwave, who goes from a what do you call this? An airport, I guess you'll say, airport to a 2 giant missile launcher carrier thing. So the previous 2 bases were just bases, and they couldn't move unless you just threw them across the floor, I suppose. The next 2 are actually bases, like a humanoid base that turns, sorry, a human-styled disguised base that then turns into like a mobile fortress of some description. So he comes with a little jet minicon, MicroMaster. Fuck, I'm going to say minicon a few times. This one's actually not bad. I think it's pretty good. For some reason, they haven't got images of the ramps on the side, but whatever. It's got a little tower you can flip up. There's not a lot of pieces you can lose here. It's all pretty much included. And then it comes with 2 giant orange missiles for the kind of mobile base mode. It's not the most attractive mobile base mode, but you do get the idea that it will fire just 2 missiles and then it's done, which is also kind of a detriment to it because it is, 2 shots and it's done. It's not very intimidating as a base. But there's a bit more playability just because, you can pretend it's rolling along. Oops. And the last one, which I would say is probably the best is Hothouse. Hothouse goes from a fire station. Oddly enough, doesn't come with a fire engine. It comes with a plane. I think this is the wrong plane again. I think because the MicroMasters were meant to be repaints to go along with these bases, I think maybe they should have done the fire truck that comes in the rescue patrol set and maybe made him like greeny yellow. Because granted, I haven't seen many greeny yellow fire engines. The only time I have seen them is in Disney World. Many years ago when I went to Disney World, I remember their fire trucks were greeny yellow. So maybe you could color it that. Kind of contrast again with the base, but he goes from the fire station to a mobile giant tank. With a ramp on as well, with like maybe a mind flipper, you could say this is. I say this is really good. It's very, 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 very red, but that's okay when you have it with the rest of them. Red's a more attractive color as well than gray. Let's be honest. And the fact that it turns into a tank with a giant cannon on the front of it is pretty cool. It is weird. He comes with a plane though. That's maybe the idea is it's one of those planes that drops water. On like forest fires or something, but this is a warthog he comes with, the military kind of plane for killing people, not really for transporting big gouts of water to different places. But again, all of these bases, apart from Ironworks, I'd recommend all of them. I think they're all really fun little gimmicky toys. They can't really connect with each other. There's only one thing it can connect with, and that's Countdown. That's it, which is maybe a bit of a shame, but there you go. XL Head says, it's weird to think these were given robot modes, Micro Titan modes. Oh, you mean for Earthrise? Yeah, I always fucking hated that. I hated the fact that these were not bases, but they were like, oh, hey, how about they come apart and be pulled apart into other things and we'll just make them into robots. I prefer proper MicroMaster bases and whatnot, but I don't think we're going to get that. So if third party want to do proper MicroMasters and proper MicroMaster bases, they could go fucking ham. They could do crazy stuff if they wanted to. But it's not Masterpiece scale, so, go fuck yourself, I suppose, at the end of the day. Probably how it goes. It's usually how I feel when I see third-party stuff. I'm like, oh, it's not Masterpiece scale. I need to go fuck myself then. Or it is Masterpiece scale. I need to go fuck myself. Big D says, yeah, but all the planes in the line were jet fighters. Oh, yeah, I know the reason. I understand why it's not a different mode. I just, as I said, it's weird it wasn't a fire truck. That's what I said. I said it's weird it's not a fire truck. It's just funny it's a warthog, And it still doesn't make sense why you put a plane instead of a fire truck. Explain that to me. Explain. XL Head says, also, Andy, please zoom out or go full screen. I can only kind of go like that because you can see how it's... This. I don't like the picture view. Oh, I know what to do. We'll open Photoshop. Photoshop will be better for this. It's better than the Windows image viewer, because the Windows image viewer is pap. So yeah, let's do this. Let's open. No, don't open Bridge. No, I don't like Amazon. I don't like Adobe Bridge. It's crapo. So let's quickly. Where's my goo? Transformers. Catalog. Go away Bridge. And we'll open the second page as well. Bink. All right. Ding. There we go. I should be able to manipulate the image a little bit better. Nah. Fuck you. Oh, God. Fine, we'll do it like this. Copy. Paste. There we go. I fixed it. Fuck you, game. There we go. Hey, is that better? That's better, right? And I can just kind of go like this. We can manipulate the image a bit more. We'll just get we'll get the checkered pattern box every now and again, but it'll be a bit easy to manipulate. Big D says I could see Dr. Wu, or if I don't see Iron Factory doing it. Dr. Wu might do it just because they're doing MicroMaster scaled things. But I don't think Iron Factory would. They're doing Legend scale things. I don't think they do MicroMaster bases. Dr. Wu should definitely do the bases. All right, the next stuff we have are the MicroMaster Transports. Which consist of, if I find it, Autobot Erector, the famous one everybody loves, Decepticon Flat Top, Rough Stuff, and Overlord Load. Did I have all of these? I think I had all of them as a kid. Yeah, it's these four. I had all of these as a kid. These were okay. Who is this one? I got the green one first. I remember specifically driving home from somewhere with this one in hand. I think I still have the original one. It's a green truck with purple windows that's dragging along a thing. I don't know what it's meant to be, but it's got treads on it. It's got two big guns, and then it's got like anti-air cannons on it as well. And it turns into a plane. So that was the idea of these ones. The MicroMaster bases, they were a thing that turned into a base. And the transports were, let's read the description. These masses of machinery each turn into an attack jet or battle station. They also come with their own MicroMaster commander and turns into a vehicle that pulls them into battle. Oh, bless them. So yeah, it just says it's a thing it pulls and it turns into a jet. And I think the jet works quite well. I think that they've mistransformed this one as well, because I always put they put the flat cannons or the big cannons in the back of the jet mode. I always put them in the front because otherwise you're just leaving it exactly where it was. I always put them in the front, so it looked like he had like two side guns like a Starscream jet, and then the big cannons in the front as well. That's how I always did it. That was my way. XL Hedge says, say his name right. It's Hall of Fame winner Erector. I don't respect him that much. I don't respect the Hall of Fame. The Transformers Hall of Fame. A Big D, oh, fuck's sake, I can't write the yellow lad's name. Well, Erector. Oh, yeah, it's probably won't let you. That makes sense. Keep saying conflicts with mod settings. Too bad. I can say it, but you can't spread it. I can't remember which one I got next, but yeah, Erector, he is the construction one. So this one kind of makes sense. You've got a sort of construction-esque vehicle of some description. I don't know exactly what you call it. Almost like a dune buggy. Like a future dune buggy. Pulling along what looks like to be a crane with something. It's kind of okay. Turns into a battle base with front cannons and a big cannon. Again, the combination of yellow and grey, just like Ironworks. That's why I said. Just like with Ironworks, seems to be a theme. I don't know why exactly, but Erector, apart from funny name, I'm a baby. The figure's fine. Is it one of the better ones? I'd say he's the worst. I think he kind of goes into it's okay kind of category. It's fine. The base mode is fine. I wouldn't say it's one of the best ones. Flat Top, I think, is the battleship here. So it's a battleship. It's probably until Tidal Wave came out the best battleship transformer. I mean, the only other one he was up against really was Broadside. So it's not really swinging hard, I suppose, for a victory, is it? But no, Flat Top, he's got a really cool MicroMaster as well that's unique the way it transforms. You flip down the nose cone and then flip the tail fin back because it's all one piece. That was kind of nice. And then you flip the wings back for the arms. I don't think any of the other MicroMasters transformed quite like Flat Tops did. So that was kind of nice. The rest of the MicroMaster transport guys transform pretty much the same. You flip the head up, you flip the legs down, and then you flip the feet out. The only one that didn't was Flat Top and Erector, who all you did was you flip the legs down and then flip the head up, and he was done pretty much. Flat Top turns into from the battleship carrier, the airship carrier, into a jet. The jet's a bit boring in compared to if its name's rough stuff. But it's okay. It looks more like a jet, I suppose you could argue, than Flat Tops or Rough Stuffs. Man, I'm doing well with the names. But I don't think it's as fun to play with. But it has a more consistent alt mode where you look at it and you go, I know what that is. I can tell what that is by visually looking at it, which is handy. It also had some cool parts where there's just holes on the deck of the airplane carrier mode. So you could actually peg in the jet to it so it wouldn't fall off. That's kind of nice, not crazy. Granted, for an aircraft carrier, the aircraft it's carrying is fucking huge. Like, you could only get 2 of these jets on here, so it's a little bit big. Yeah, but I think it's pretty good. The one I liked the least was Overload. Kind of a flat color combo of gray and red. I'd argue he's got the best jet mode. But he's just a trailer that turns into a jet. The trailer is functional. It does have a little door you can flip down in the back, and you can store 2 MicroMasters in there. Probably two MicroMasters in there. So it is functional in that sense. Also, this gray handle, black handle here is gray. On Rough Stuff, the handle here is gray as well. It's not meant to be red. Same for this bit's meant to be black. Just noticing these dumb details. But the trailer for Overload transforms fairly well. You flip down the wings and you flip the entire section up, and the nose cone is kind of hidden under the back of the trailer. And I think it turns into I would say this kind of looks like a bit like a Star Wars-esque vehicle. If it had an extra set of wings, it would be X-wingy, if you ask me. But I think it's literally the color scheme that didn't do much for me with Overload. But he's all right. I mean, none of these are desperately terrible. Big D says, the other 3 all turn into jets, so poor sod that turns into a turret is just going to look dull in comparison. I maybe kind of agree, but not completely, because I think the base mode's okay. You can aim one set of guns up and down. It's got a big cannon in the front, and you could argue that the alt mode for it is a lot more playable because it's got a little construction crane here. You can't see it, but this black part, you can lift the yellow crane arm up and then flip this part down, and it's got a little hook. So that's kind of fun. But yeah, I kind of see what you mean. It does say on the description they turn into a battle station or attack jet, and like you say, it's only the one that turns into a battle station. So that's kind of interesting. Next up on this side of the image, we've got one that I don't and have never had with the wrong MicroMaster. It's the MicroMaster Decepticon Jet Commander Center, which has just been comprised down into Decepticon Skystalker. So Skystalker is one that I didn't have. I hear a lot of pieces on this thing can break, or at least some pieces on this thing can break, which is a real bummer. It is a shuttle that folds out into a not super cool looking battle station, but I do think the jet mode is cool. And you also have a detachable kind of smaller jet as well. The description reads, soar into battle with the sophisticated air transport and shuttle. It falls out to form a fully equipped battle platform with awesome working features, which it does not list. And a transformable MicroMaster pilot, unlike any of the other ones as well. Yeah, it doesn't actually say what the awesome working features are. Maybe the awesome working features are that it can transform. Maybe that's the awesome feature. I don't know. This is actually just the wrong MicroMaster, because Skystalker's MicroMaster is just not this guy. This is the red guy from 36. 36? That's 35. 36 is the Autobot Race Car Patrol. It's the red one, the primarily red one from that set. Look at this! Got doubles of his car mode. What the fuck? Hang on. They do have a picture. Hang on, this is fucking stupid. Okay, so I've just quickly checked the Autobot Race Car Patrol, right? The red guy that I'm talking about, whichever one he is, it's either Tailspin, Road Handler, Wheeler, or Swindler. Not Swindle, Swindler. He's got an R at the end of his name, so he's very cool. So, we have the blue one with the gray torso, and we have his alt mode. The red one that I was talking about for Skystalker, we have his robot mode, but then we have the blue one's car mode again. And yeah, we go over to Skystalker, and we have its fucking vehicle mode down here. That one was shitting their pants when they were making this, I can tell you. What was it? Jesus Christ. Never mind. That's not something you can blame on like, oh, they just had bad production photos. Someone just fucked it up completely. Look at that. Someone just fucked that up. Come on now. Road Handler. Thank you. It was Road Handler. Road Handler's the red one. XL Hedge says, the shuttle reminds me of a HISS tank. Yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from. Kind of the shape of it, and you've got two guns on the front. I can see where you're coming from there. Yeah, I think it's the big wings on the side of the shuttle mode, these bits that usually break off. I think the way that they lock into place is the reason why they break, but I can't remember exactly why. I can't talk too much about it because I've never had it, but it does look nice. It's one I'd like to get if, one, it was reasonably priced, and two, it was not going to break on me. Then we have, I don't think these are all the MicroMasters. No, this isn't all the MicroMasters, but we have, I guess, the initial wave of MicroMasters. And we'll read Big D's comment first. I mean, it was late era G1 folks had stopped caring about this point. Yeah, well, I guess just like, who gives a shit? I don't think it's an excuse, but, fair enough. Okay, so the teams that we have here are the Autobot Battle Patrol, the Autobot Airstrike Patrol, the Sports Car Patrol, the Rescue Patrol, Race Car Patrol, and the Off-Road Patrol. I had all but two of these as a kid. I didn't have the Decepticon Airstrike Patrol, which I've now got, and I didn't have the Autobot Race Car Patrol. I think I got the Autobot Battle Patrol when I fell in the foot wash baths, like in the general the local swimming pool. So for at least the one I used to go to, you'd have your changing rooms, and then you'd step into a small pool of water for your feet to get washed for some fucking reason, and then you'd go and continue to the showers, and then you go to the swimming pool. I slipped in that and cut my back on one of the slates that was protruding out, and I've still got the scar on my back now. And I remember lying down face first in the car, and then I remember getting a packet of the MicroMasters. For some reason, I don't know how, I lost two of these. I kept the plane. I kept the tank, the green tank with the missile pod on it. I lost the brown one with the big cannon on, and I lost the other beige one with the side cannons on. I have no idea what ever happened to them. I only ever remember having the jet and the missile tank. I never remember having the other two at all. So clearly I lost them somewhere. Maybe between the hospital and getting back home. I don't know. I did get these two later on, so I've got them now. It's weird. They're a good set. They're maybe the best set of them. Using the kind of desert camo colors and browns and greens, they look really good together. I'd say my second favorite team, the Decepticon Sports Car Patrol. You've got a really cool black car, a blue car, muscle car, a yellow. I don't even know what the yellow car is. like a weird 80s sports car, and then a purple car, which I didn't like too much, to be honest. He was the worst one of the set. All of these ones were cool. They all looked nice and dynamic and nice and bright and colored. The Autobot Rescue Patrol, we know them because they were used for Zone and Victory. So we know all these guys, and they're all pretty, I wouldn't say significant. Yeah, they're the most significant MicroMasters. Let's say that, the most significant MicroMasters. The Off-Road Autobot Patrol, they weren't great. The little gray one I pretended was my Trailbreaker back in the day because he's a similar kind of vehicle mode. I pretended that the red camper van was my Ironhide because, again, similar. Those two actually have some pretty decent and more unique transformations than really any of the rest of them. These two have the most unique transformations. There's a bit more to them than just you fall down the front of the car, you flip back the front of the car, and you fold out the legs. There's a bit more to them than that, so that made them a bit more special and give them a good look, actually. The truck and the monster truck, they were in the MicroMaster bases over here. So there wasn't too much to say about them because we've already seen them. Big D says, hang on, let's see. Hang on, I'll scroll back up. Big D says, I had all of these and the Battle Patrol were baller. They are good. I mean, Sunrunner and Flak were the two best. Sunrunner's the plane. I don't know which one Flak was. Was Flak the tank, or was Flak the missile pod dude, or was Flak the big cannon guy? I assume you mean Flak was the beige tank. I tell you what, this set could have done with desert camo. It's asking for a bit much, but if they had like a dark brown, like camo tan over the kind of sandy color on them, that would have really completed their look. And for the missile pod dude, he did need some like dark green camo lines on him as well. Again, make him really cool. Big D says, tell you what, I'd love deluxes of the Decepticon sports car, and yeah, fuck it. But my only stipulation for that would be they'd need to be unique molds. Primarily designed to be them, which would never happen. It would never happen, and that's the problem. Excelhead says, Andy, you point at stuff off screen on the stream window. Okay, I apologize. I'll try and look at this stuff on stream rather than on the screen. I mean to manage, but thank you. Big D says, Flak's the green missile dude. Okay, I thought this was Flak. Okay, then these were the two that I had. It was these two that I lost. Fair enough. You're pointing. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Big D says, I'd settle for partial remolds of Stunticons. I wouldn't. I'm fucking sick of just basic retools. I don't want basic retools. We need to expand past just the characters that we've seen before. We need to push characters we haven't seen. These would be them. The Decepticon Air Patrol stuff, they're okay. They're all right. This is used in another set. 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 All of the jets here are used in base sets, unfortunately. So I guess that's a downside to the Decepticon Jets Patrol. Every single one is in another set. The Autobot military team is unique. The Decepticon sports car is unique. The Rescue Patrol is unique. Yep. I think the sports car team is unique, and half of the off-road patrol are unique as well. Two of them are used in other sets, but yeah, they're not too bad. They're not the best, but they're all right. Yeah, I think these are. It's a decent set of teams here. There's just too many Autobots, not enough Decepticons. Only 2 Decepticon teams. You know. So, which is a bit of a shame. Big D says the Air Patrol were a fun set of mooks who got a surprising amount of screen time in both the US and G1 comics. Oh, all right. Bases. There are 2 bases here. We have the Decepticon Skyhopper and Groundshaker, which had both of these. Okay. I was trying to figure out the best way to phrase this. So Skyhopper helicopter that turns into a kind of radar dish open base mode. Not very good base mode. Decent helicopter mode, pretty fun. Base mode just kind of explodes outwards and doesn't really look like anything. There's a radar dish in the back. The best thing about, well, one of the better things about it is it has 3 ways to connect to other bases. It's got a ramp going in off either side and one more. The front of the helicopter opens up where there are missiles that are meant to be, which are, they're all right. But visually speaking, it's not a super good base, especially compared to Ground Shaker, who is a tank, a very, very heavily armored tank that turns into like an air base. It's got 3 ramps as well, which you can have. It's got a big cannon, which you can move around. And it's got a landing pad, which is quite cool the way that transforms. All of that works. It's all pretty nice. It's just superior to Skyhopper. Like, the 2 vehicle modes for both of them are both pretty solid. Like, helicopter or tank, your preference there. Base modes, you can just tell by looking at them. One's better than the other. You could even say for Ground Shaker, the back of it, which just looks like a thing, you could at least pretend it's a computer screen to kind of work with here. You might think you could do that with the purple bits at the back of the helicopter base mode, but there's a gap between where you can stand your robots and where these big purple bits are, so you can't really pretend that's a screen, unfortunately. Big D says, funny though, that he has a helipad, but he has a jet. And in fact, there was no MicroMaster helicopter. Well, that, my friend, is incorrect. There are 2 MicroMaster helicopters. An Autobot one and a Decepticon one. I can't remember if they're on page 2. Are they on page 2? They're not on page 2. Let me check to see if I have the catalog that has the 2 helicopter MicroMasters, but there are definitely 2 MicroMaster helicopters. Wow. Oh, no, there's one. Yeah, there they are. There they are. Yeah. I'll be the next one we talk about. There's this one here. It's really cool. This is the best team. This is where the MicroMasters really got fucking cool, these ones. And there's this yellow one here. So there's 2 of them, that one and that one. They're both really good. They're both really cool. Oh, yeah. You remember them now. Yeah. And then the last one is the MicroMaster Autobot rocket base, which is, of course, Countdown or Come Down. With an incorrect rocket. This is not how the rocket looked. Luckily, the rocket looks a lot cooler. Although the engines aren't as cool, though, oddly enough. So, Countdown, the ultimate space complex, powerful rocket and launcher convert to space station. This is not a space station. It's just a base. With interchangeable ramps and plenty of extras. It did actually come with a lot of stuff. There's a lot to lose on Countdown. A lot to lose. So Countdown, a unique MicroMaster as well with Countdown himself. You had a lift. So, okay, there was there 2 modes? Yeah, there was 2 modes to this. You had the actual launch platform for the rocket and then the opened up base. And the rocket could kind of transform as well. By transform, I mean it could, I guess, get into a landing position, so you could have people coming up and down the ramp, and you could have them store in the engine if you want to believe that they're getting cooked alive in there. That was pretty good. The actual kind of mobile launch platform was, again, pretty good. This is not how it looks in real life, though. There's a lot of changes here. There was a working lift which you could lift up halfway. I don't really know why this was here. If it could go all the way up, that would make sense, but it couldn't. It could go to the halfway point, and then you just have to use your imagination. The good thing was that the rocket did actually kind of peg into the top of the base mode, so it was reasonably secure. Like, if you picked it up and tipped it, it would fall off, but if you're just kind of moving it around, it wouldn't fall off as you're playing with it, which was pretty nice. And then the base mode had lots of different ways for the other bases with ramps. With ramps to all connect onto. How many ports were there for the base? It was 1. Because there was an extra like launch pad. It was a helicopter pad. It doesn't have the sticker on there, but it's a helicopter pad. There's 1, 2, 3, because there was a big ramp here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 ramps, 10 if you include the heliport thing, or places to connect ramps to. I think, give or take. There was a lot. There was a lot of places. This was like the set that you got so you could play with the rest of the bases and make like a giant MicroMaster city. And I think that's what they did in the adverts, if I remember right. Really good set. I think you'll find that the rockets tend to yellow though. Unfortunately, mine's gonna get a little bit yellow on my original set. I have another one somehow. I guess I bought another one at some point across the board, but yeah. Countdown was very, very good. I've no issue with the count of Ladown. Gonna have to... Now we've got Transform and Pretenders. When Pretenders got really good. Since MicroMasters were starting off, Pretenders were coming to an end, at least with their gimmick. And they got good, and they also got dangerous. MicroMasters became a dangerous commodity. Let's talk about just the standard figures. They shrunk in size. Compared to the first batch of them, but they actually became real Transformers that actually did things compared to the previous batch, like Bombburst and those guys who didn't really transform and they didn't really look like they had robot modes, but they had okay shells to very cool shells. These all came with very unique shells and with real robots that actually transformed into real things. Well, real looking things that look normal. There you go. Oh, that looks like a thing. Not, what the fuck is that? Big D says, funny how Countdown has now become kind of synonymous with being Omega Supreme's sidekick. Yeah, it's depressing. Universe repaint of Cybertron Defense Red Alert as him was cool, though. It was okay. It's not what I'd really want, but I think it was a smart enough repaint. It's just not what I'd want. So the figures for the standard Pretenders, these Space Warriors split open to reveal transformable robots hidden inside. Turn the robots into battle-ready vehicles and beasts. The shells can then resemble them to form action figures. A bit generous. Each come with weapons and accessories. So we have Pincher, Double Header, Long Tooth, Octopunch, Stranglehold, and Bludgeon. I've got some of these, not all of them. I never had them as a kid. So obviously the most famous one is Bludgeon, who oddly enough never came with a samurai sword. Yeah. he's again, samurai undead ninja. More said say, no one remembers his inner robot because it's just a brown and green tank. It's not nearly as good as the shell. None of these are as good as the shell. The shells are all really interesting and unique. But again, thankfully, these do work as robots and transform. So they are much better, don't get me wrong. So I have Bludgeon. I have Stranglehold that's mostly complete. Oh no, it's not, well, Bondage Tom Selleck has its hat and his gun, but I'm missing the back shell for the Rhino, and I don't have his gun either, which is a bit of a bummer. Bondage Tom Selleck, really interesting design. It is just a dude in bondage gear who has a very big buff mustache. That's why I call him Bondage Tom Selleck. It's such a unique, interesting look. Robot modes, or the robot is more interesting than Bludgeon because he's green, purple, and yellow or orange. Generally a lot more interesting visually. Does he do more transformation-wise? No, he transforms like a MicroMaster, effectively. You flip the legs out, and then you flip the back of the animal head down, and you're done. I've also got Octopunch, thankfully. Octopunch, very cool. I think I'm missing I might be missing one of the crab mode legs, but I'm not sure. I've got all of the Pretender Shell stuff. His robot mode, again, is not super interesting. But I think he forms a pretty decent crab. And there aren't many crab transformers out there. No, that's true. Yeah, there aren't many good crabs out there. He's quite fun. He doesn't do a huge amount. You kind of just straighten out the legs and you push the head up and you're kind of done. But he's very fun. Again, all of these are sold on how cool the shells are. Big D says, I had Pincher, who I dug as around Doug as another desert fighter. With the Autobots had several of those with a fun alt mode, and Bludgeon, who I somehow found a samurai's sword for that fit perfectly. It's funny how out of these you suddenly have Stranglehold, the greased up wrestler. I didn't suddenly have him. I deliberately got him because I saw him for a decent price. I didn't suddenly get him. I got him because I went, oh. I thought it was complete as well, to be honest. I didn't realize it was missing the purple stuff. And this was before, like, all of them got fucking ridiculously expensive. They were already pretty expensive when I bought them, but they didn't go, like, shoot through the fucking roof. Excel Hedge says, I had Double Header and Stranglehold, upset with Hasbro claiming they want to release full teams, but they only focus on Bludgeon and Octopunch. I know, right? And they don't really ever give them unique stuff for them either. Big D says, it was a neat gimmick having parts of their alt mode becoming backpack for the shell. I don't think that I would agree with that. I don't think I would agree with that. Because they didn't really do anything. It was just a random thing that you could stick on the side. Like with Bludgeon's gun turret, or tank turret, that was okay. It was kind of like a practical thing to stick on the side of Bludgeon's arm for like a cannon. I don't have Stranglehold, so I don't really know what you could do with it. And the crab legs, just putting them on the back of Octopunch's shell is shit. It doesn't really do anything. They don't really fit on there desperately well either, because they're not straight. They've got like a slight indent going diagonally inwards, so they don't sit flush to the back of the shell either. So I disagree, I'm afraid. I don't know about the other three. Maybe theirs is a little bit cleaner. Again, as I mentioned, because I didn't have the other three, I think I've handled the inner robot of a completely fucked up, damaged Stranglehold. Not Stranglehold, Pincher. It had no tail, it had no legs, it had no gun, but I got to play with the basic body and thought it seemed fine. I was kind of annoyed because I had no idea what it was. I didn't know what it was meant to be, but it felt like it was missing stuff. Clearly, I found out later it was missing things. He's probably got the worst shell, because his shell is just a dude, you know? Oh, I say that. Yeah, no, I will stick with that, because Bondage Tom Selleck is Bondage Tom Selleck. His is just a dude. His is much more like a standard Pretender shell dude. That makes sense. Double Header, that's just a dude. But with two heads, that makes him more unique. That makes him pretty interesting. His robot mode looks a little bit boring. I've never handled it, but it's gray and dark gray. Not very interesting visually. It looks like he's only got like 3 pieces he can miss. The back wing section for the robot mode, the gun for the shell, and the helmet for the shell. And that's it. That's not too bad. And then Longtooth, who has the best shell out of the Autobot Pretenders, which is the giant walrus. The cyborg walrus with a shockingly boring robot mode, very much like Bludgeon in a lot of ways. And it seems like he's going for the robot mode is going for the Colgate color scheme of red, white, and blue, especially noticeable in the truck mode. Let's call it truck mode. Let's go with that. Big D says, I meant that almost sci-fi warriors and oddball monsters. You have Bondage Tom still. Oh, okay, yeah. I might look on eBay tonight to see how much these are, but I reckon Longtooth 80, Double Header 70, Pincher 60 to 70. That's what I reckon for them if I wanted to get them today. That's what I reckon eBay prices. Because I can't go to conventions where I might be able to find them cheaper because of life. Next up, the Mega Pretenders. Mega Pretenders, they've got the power to surprise. Double the excitement of both the outer shell and the inner robot convert into vehicles and back. Combine the two to form a super vehicle, each with weapons and accessories. So we got Crossblades, Vroom, and Thunderwing. I only have Thunderwing. Can you guess why I only got Thunderwing? Well, mainly because these two are expensive. And also, Vroom and Crossblades look shit in comparison to Thunderwing. They look like shit. Vroom is, like, his shell is just a dude. He looks like a dude from Police from Cops. I was going to say Police Squad, from Cops. It's crime fighting time Cops, the toy line Cops, not the live TV show Cops. Vroom's inner robot turns into... I don't know what it turns into. I have no idea what it turns into. I can't tell by looking at it. I think it's meant to be like when you combine the two together, it's meant to be like a sidecar for the Shell's bike mode. The good thing about these are the Shells did transform to an extent. You know, Vroom is clearly the worst of them. Crossblades got a pretty decent color scheme. He's got a stupid human face, and the Crossblades robot mode. Dude turns into, I guess, Underslungen for the helicopter. It's okay. I'd say it's way better than Vroom. Thunderwing, the clear winner, has a really cool shell, has a decent robot mode, robot that you can tell turns into some sort of jet. It's just the best. It's got really good color scheme as well. The jet does just kind of clip to the front of Thunderwing's shell's jet mode to make it longer, but it kind of works. Big D says, aka Thunderwing and those two other guys. Pretty much. Thunderwing steals the show easily. Meanwhile, Crossblades looks like a terrible knockoff Centurion. I don't think I would say terrible, but I would kind of also agree with you, terrible. I would say he's better than Vroom, though. A lot better looking than Vroom. But you are right, he does look Centurion-y. Now, Pretender classic characters. These are the same scale as the previous Pretenders, but what if we do two things, chat? What if we made the inner robots marketable, which is what Hasbro leans into very hard these days, and just does the characters that, you know. But how about we make the robots transform? Oh, gasp, shock. This is the in-between stage. We have the original set of Pretenders, we have these guys, and then we have the kind of new batch of Pretenders. So, with this set of Pretenders, there's Grimlock, Bumblebee, Jazz, and Starscream, who's transformed incorrectly. Each of them have kind of boring shells. Like, they're okay, but they're just human dudes, which is always a bit on the flat side. And then obviously we have literally the Bumblebee from the Pretender is the best G1 Bumblebee. He's way better than the original Bumblebee. He's a lot more fun. He looks correct. Pretender Bumblebee is the best original Bumblebee figure. Easily. I've got the Starscream. Starscream's got a bit of an awkward transformation. You'd think that the wings just kind of turn. Like you just kind of turn them round. They kind of click round in a weird way, which is a bit scary because I'm always afraid that you're going to break the clips that the wings go into. They're not pegs, they're clipped in for some bizarre reason. And his arms don't really transform too much. His nose just kind of flips down. He doesn't do a lot of transforming, but he's okay. I haven't got the other two. Again, I'd like both of these. But Grimlock looks quite fun for what he is. And Jazz, I think I've played with the Jazz's robot before, but I'm not entirely sure. The Jazz kind of looks good like the Bumblebee, but not as good. Big D says Bumblebee was the fave. Yeah, I can see why. He's a stand. Like, I've got it, and it's good. It's really good. Oh, that was because Screamer's wings could plug into the Pretender shell. Oh, is that what it was? I don't think I've ever done that. It sounds like a very dangerous gimmick for not much payoff. I guess it's okay. You know, not great. Oh my god. Now in the Pretender category, we also have Power Master Optimus Prime. Power Master Optimus Prime, God or Jinrai, is a way better Optimus Prime figure than the G1 figure. Way better. Does loads. It has a gimmick of the Masters gimmick. I love the Masters gimmick. I've always loved Headmasters, MicroMasters, Power Masters, etc., etc. He has a normal robot like Optimus Prime mode, then the super mode, and a base. You know, he does so much. It's a really good Optimus Prime figure. If you've never had a Power Master Optimus Prime, get it. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot to do to play with it. I wish I had it as a kid. I really do. If I was going to have one nitpick about Power Master Optimus Prime, is you can put things in his trailer, but pretty much nothing goes in his trailer. It's such a tight squeeze that I wonder why they even bothered having a ramp that you can flip down. It's weird. Big D says he got a Nito retool into Metal Hawk, though. Is that what happened? I thought Metal Hawk was completely... No, the robot for Metal Hawk is completely unique. Is the shell a retool of the Starscream? Are you sure about that? I thought it was a completely new mold. I would have thought it was no, it would have to be a new mold. It would have to be a completely new mold. You can't remold that. Because it's just these things are two halves of plastic. It's just two halves of the same plastic. It can't be a remold. What are you remolding? Both sides. It's not a remold. It's a completely new figure. I mean, you can fit his... Oh, you can fit his super mode head in the back. Oh, wait, hang on. I missed... Hang on. Retool. Metal Hawk certainly used the wings for guns. Hang on. Okay. I wanna have a look at this. This sounds like bloody nonsense to me. Transformers. Metal Hawk toy. You're just gonna show me the fucking legacy toy, aren't you? Yeah. Okay, let's put in G1 before that. G1. Are they the same guns? Yeah, the shell's completely different. The robot's completely different. Yeah, the guns look like they might be the same. Probably upscaled though. You can't see them on screen because it's off slightly, but yeah, it looks like they're bigger versions of those wings. The wings and guns, at least. I mean, not the wings. The wings, 100% no. If you mean just the side, the back guns, let's click on a hopefully big image that'll come up on screen. Oh. If you mean these things, these guns, I don't think they're the exact same guns. I think they're upscaled versions. Otherwise, nothing is the same. These, I'd be generous to say that these are the same. I wish I'd like a good, clear image of them. They look similar. I'm not sure if they are the exact same though. For some reason, I would have sworn that there was more reuse, but well, I live and learn. Yeah, they're completely different. Sorry, brain fart there. No worries. I was just like, no, you're crazy. You're insane. There's no way. Yeah. Gaslighting. Big D says, my only G1 Prime, such a beast. It was really good. I mean, you can fit his super mode head in the back. That's true. That was the big problem. The head for the super mode was just something that you had to throw away effectively when you weren't playing with it, which is a bit of a bummer. Then we move into what I call the dangerous section, the danger zone. Why is this the danger zone? Because this, my friend, is where gold plastic began to creep into the Transformers world yet again. So we had the Monster Pretenders. My very first Transformer ever was Scowl. This is not the robot he came with. This is a mix-up. This is the robot Scowl came with. This is the shell Scowl came with. That's right. That's right. I think it's just these two that are wrong. Yeah, it's just Scowl and Slog? No. That's Ice Pick. That's Scowl. Oh, I should look at the bloody thing. Slog. Yeah, Slog and Scowl for some reason have been switched around. So I had Scowl. No. Yes, Scowl as a kid. That was the only one I had, my very first Transformer. None of these really transform into anything. They are robots that kind of transform into a sort of monster mode. The Bristleback and Bird Brain look a bit more like they transform into an animal or monster of sort. The other ones just kind of fold up into a flat thing. Actually, to be fair, Wildfire looks like it turns into some kind of weird harpy as well. The good thing about these are all the shells are really well designed. The main issue is Bird Brain, or whichever one this is. I think this is Bird Brain. I think that's the right creature for Bird Brain. If it's not, no, I think they've got Bird Brain and Bristleback's robots switched around. I think. Either way, there are two components on this team that are made of gold plastic syndrome, or have gold plastic syndrome, so they will die. It is the way. Third-party company, remake these two, and then we'll be happy. And then they form Monstructor. Monstructor always looked like a pretty decent, interesting, for the most part, combiner, and has an interesting look. He obviously has history in the comics and all that jazz. The issue is, like, his torso is gold plastic, and his arm, one of his arms is gold plastic syndrome, which is obviously not a good combination. It's a real shame. All the shells, though, really nice monster designs. A big bird. A lot of creatures I look at and go, I don't know how to describe what that monster looks like, but it looks cool. They all have really cool, interesting monster shell modes. They do get a little bit weird, sticky, gummy feeling in this day and age. So you got to kind of wash them. I don't know how you stop them from kind of, I guess, air decompositioning. I'm not quite sure how you do that, but if there's a way, I'm sure you'll let me know. Hang on. Are we still streaming? Go away, Restream. Restream's telling me I need to log back in. I'm guessing I don't have to. Hey, Orange, how's it going? Hopefully we're still streaming on YouTube. Yeah. When talking about Pretenders, or we're coming to the end. We're pretty much done. And then the last, we're on the last ones. No, you fine? Okay, that's good. Well, hopefully on YouTube as well. The last set of Pretenders to talk about are the Ultra Pretenders, which consist of Skyhammer, who my friends had. When I say they had them, or Skyhammer, they only had the little robot. And then there's also Roadblock, who has actually a really good color scheme here. Gold and purple, but thankfully they changed it to gold and black primarily. The gold and purple looks a lot better, but if it was mainly gold and purple, though, it would have way more gold plastic syndrome issues than it does. So, even more surprises. Open the vehicle and reveal a posable shell robot. Turn the robot shell into a vehicle and open it to reveal another transformable robot. So, it's kind of like a big robot that has a Pretender shell in, that also has a robot in. Was not a bad idea. It was a pretty solid call, I'd say. You could argue that the robots have gone back down to the original Pretender kind of quality of you just flip the legs around and fold out the feet and they're done and they look like shit. But I guess you let that slide because it also comes with a shell that transforms and also comes with a big vehicle. So it kind of sort of makes up for it in a weird way, if you see what I'm saying, Like, the vehicles the Pretender shells just transform into a vehicle that the inner robots, the smallest robots, can use, which is, again, not a bad idea. Kind of fun. Roadblock is a big tank. At least his big shell is a big kind of teal tank, which is kind of interesting to see. His robot Pretender shell is almost, I would almost describe like Submarauder and almost Batman-esque, which is hard. I don't know if that's a good way to describe it, but those are the vibes I get from it. Like when it transforms into its vehicle mode, it looks like a Batman vehicle from the toy line, the 90s toy line, when it's like, hey, here's Viking Batman, etc., etc. That's the vibe that gives me. And we're not going to talk about the inner robot because it didn't fucking look like anything. At least I would say so. Orange says, I've been wanting proper updates for them since 2018 at least. Yeah, not going to get it. It's a unique Transformer mold. It'll never happen. Big D says, yeah, it'd be nice to see them move into this space. Good luck of that. Good luck. They've still got all of season 2 and 3 to go through. They ain't moving on to this shit. Ain't no way. Not without them being like half-assed retools. Sadly, it's likely to be repaints. So yeah. Oh, you had Roadblock. Love them. Did Orange? Did Roadblock have any gold plastic syndrome? It's only Skyhammer that did, right? Turn all pretenders into Mega/Ultra pretenders. Hasbro, if only. It's Skyhammer that, as far as I know, has the issues. I think he was like I think most of his blue plastic for this robot image is gold plastic. I'm pretty sure, or gray. I think he's yeah. His pretender shell is also a spaceman in a spacesuit, basically a red spacesuit that turns into just a flying shoe. It's not as cool, if you ask me. And then I think the big shell that it comes with, the kind of G.I. Joe plane hover tank thing, or hoverable like plane tank thing, is pretty good looking. But it's not as good as Roadblock, I would say. I think this is a little better. Mine was lost in a very tough move around the turn of the century. That's a bummer. That's a bummer, man. But yeah, that's it. That's this era of Transformers. Can't remember which era it is, but this era, I'd say it's pretty interesting. I can see why a lot of people wouldn't like it. It's very hard gimmicky. They've still got, at least here, we've still got like some primary characters. There's no Megatron to go for. And the MicroMasters, I guess you have to have a taste for them. I get why Hasbro moved into doing these when they did. You know, just on the basis that Hot Wheels was doing really well for their little bases and whatnot. So to me, it makes sense why they moved into this kind of era of just like, small Transformers you could take around. I did play a lot with MicroMasters because when you're in a car, it's like, hey, you just shove these in your pockets and you can have a fiddle with them. And then the Pretenders continue a very weird entry into the Transformers way of things. We also had a Power Master Optimus Prime, which, if you want to look at both sides of this catalog, Power Master Prime is easily the best figure. Just hands down. It's a fantastic toy. It still is a really good fucking toy. And like I say, we have moved into gold plastic syndrome territory, which is kind of a bit of a bummer. We have a message from Orange. MicroMasters are my G1. There are a lot of my G1 as well, to be honest. Because like I say, like my first Transformer ever was Scal, so yeah, it would have to be. XL Hedge says, sadly, without a big media push / demand to focus on later years of G1, the majority of these guys will never be updated. I know. Hasbro, to be fair though, Hasbro has no intention of doing media pushes for anything that isn't G1. They have no intention of doing it. And you might be like, oh, that's not true, Andy. It's like, look at the past few years. They just don't have any interest in expanding the brand, unfortunately, and making new characters. I mean, or like even revisiting old characters. There are a plethora of old characters they could revisit, but they have no interest in doing it. They don't sell, apparently. Orange says, I was in it since 84, but these guys were my fave. Oh, okay. See, I was a baby of 87, so I was picking up Transformers probably early 90s. I don't know how the fuck I got Scowl. Unless the distribution for the UK was just fucking terrible, and it took years for these things to come out. I think this was 90, wasn't it? Like, this kind of era, the MicroMasters and these Pretenders were 1990, maybe 91, something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, boys and girls, we had to do this because there was no fucking news really to talk about. Hopefully you've had a good time of me just waffling on. The next set of media to look at are Action Master Transformers. They've got the power to surprise. And the last era of the MicroMasters. Really, really good era of MicroMasters as well, by the way. Really cool era of MicroMasters. And then the Action Masters, which are... Yeah. They're a unique oddity, is what I'd say. How about that? That's fair, right? We'll get to that, though, in the future. Anyway, thanks, guys, for coming on by. Hope you've had a good time. We'll be back next week, maybe with Transformer news. Maybe we'll be talking about Action Masters. Who knows? If there's no news, maybe I'll get Orange on, and we'll have a talk about some Action Masters. How about that? That could be fun. Yeah? Orange, you down? He'll be down. He'll be down. Anyway, thanks guys for coming by. If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Decayed Andy. Most places, just put in Decayed Andy, you'll find me. Well, Moonbase 2, Twitter, iTunes, Facebook, Libsyn, Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. You'll find us on YouTube. You know, the usual places. I'm out for tonight. I've got to get up, for me, super early in the morning. Like, really early in the morning. Like 3 hours before I normally would. For my doors and windows to be implanted into my house. Which I'm, like I said at the beginning of the show, very nervous about. Hopefully it'll go well. They'll be doing it in my usual rooms, which will be awkward. Because there'll just be men working on my window. Does anybody else feel that way? Like when you have like a plumber around or like a construction worker and they're working in a room where you always are, like your workspace or your living room, and you just sat there and you're just like, there's a guy right there. This isn't awkward. I'll try and ignore him. Do I talk to him? I don't know. I always feel awkward. I don't mind if it's somewhere else in the house, but I always feel awkward. They're going to be working in my bedroom as well. That's where all my Transformers are. So part of my mind will be, are any of those fucking cocks going to steal any of my Transformers? Because I lost a load of Transformers. I had a complete original Defensor, and I had a load of other Transformers go missing. And my only assumption is they were put in the loft. And when my house had an extension put on it, someone was in the loft, obviously, working on the extension and pinched them. I don't know where else they could have gone. So, you know, it's made me paranoid for the future. But anyway, I'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for coming on by. I'm dead on the outside, dead on the inside. And until next time, I'll see you suckers next time. Bye.